Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. How's everyone doing out there? It is a cold day here up in the Northeast, but here we are. How's everyone doing? So I wanted to come on today and talk about connection, and I wanted to talk about connection not only in terms of like relationship connection, but in terms of how connected are you to your own self, your body, right? To God. How connected are you? The reason why I ask this is because, and I pose this question is because I see people every single day not, and I'm not saying that we have to be like super emotional all day long, but I see so many people who are so disconnected from how their body feels, from they take on, they can't even perceive someone's I should say this, they perceive someone's opinion on them so strongly, and it's almost not correct, right? So for example, I might be looking at you and observing, and you take that as judgment. That means to me that you are so disconnected from how other people perceive you and how you possibly perceive yourself. I also, from practice, have seen that I think a lot of people are they are very used to suppressing pain and very used to suppressing emotion, right? So when you are so used to suppressing what your body is screaming to you, I don't even like to tell people like how do you like. Sometimes I even try to rephrase saying how do you feel, and I like to say instead, what is your body telling you, right? Instead of saying you're how are you feeling today, any symptoms pop up and anything like that, I enjoy the aspect of going a little bit deeper and asking questions, because it actually does cause people's emotions to pop up. For example, yesterday I'm with a client, and this client was you could tell walls were up, very emotional, very scared because she's not used to allowing people in, not used to really letting someone love her the way that she deserves to be loved. And when we were speaking, the client said to me, "I feel like you're judging me." And I said, "That's an interesting." And that to me, when I heard that, I went, "You are so disconnected from how other people perceive you that you are judging yourself so much that you're now putting it on other people." And because in this moment, I'm literally like loving so much on her, but the wall was so far, I felt like I was like up against a wall like this, right? So for me, I could feel the energy, and the client was like, "Why are you so far away?" And I was like, "Because you're literally like pushing, I could feel you pushing me," right? And it's because I'm very connected to my body to the point where I can feel when somebody is like, "Yes, I need you, I need help," right? Surrender, right? And when I think I think we are so disconnected because we're being poisoned every day by food, by things in the sky. If you ever look in the sky, and you'll see lines in the sky every single day, almost every single day anyway. And that is not just a jet stream, y'all. It is there to condition you and to put toxins all in your body. Okay. My point being, we are so disconnected from our bodies, from our minds. We don't even have thought anymore, right? Like I tell people all the time, did you like when people have negative thoughts, I say, is that your thought or is that put upon you? Is that your thought, or did you actually tell yourself that? Did you and we people don't realize you can actually brainwash yourself to uh dis ease. You can brainwash yourself to not believing you deserve something. You can brainwash yourself to feeling very disconnected. You can brainwash yourself to living in the past. I used to be 300 pounds. I used to very much have body dysmorphia to the point where I was constantly in this place where I couldn't let go because I just kept identifying myself as this very overweight, very ill, very low energy person. And when I finally said to myself, I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, I am not this person anymore. So I need to stop telling myself this story, right? I am not the people that I used to hang out with anymore. I think we just, to be very clear with you all, again, I think we identify and we put our emotions, we tie them onto what we used to be, the friends we used to have, the negativity that's around us, our families, our this, our, like everything becomes this like pretty little package, and you want to tie it with a bow, and you're like, oh, I am this, I am that. And guess what, guys? The I am statement is huge. I mean, I know it's like everywhere out there right now, and I'm not even going to touch that with 10 football because I just feel like so many people are like, the I am statement is powerful. And like, yes, it is, but you need to believe in yourself. I think that's the biggest and most true disease is that we stopped believing in ourselves. People have no belief in themselves. They are so disconnected from anyone giving them a compliment. Like when somebody gives you a compliment, what do most people do? Oh, thanks. They literally look away or they like retreat because they're so afraid of receiving love. Meanwhile, we all want love. Like it's wild, right? So you can't receive love if you don't do the work on yourself to literally go, why am I so afraid of receiving that compliment? I used to be so bad at receiving compliments. Like when someone would call me handsome or when someone would tell me I'm super intelligent, I would literally go, no, or I would slough it off like, oh, whatever, thanks, How rude is that? Like, I find that so rude, right? Like someone's literally giving you a compliment and you're basically saying, F you, your compliment doesn't matter to me. And it's like, and then we wonder why we don't get complimented anymore. And it's because you can't receive it. So I'm not going to continue to, give you a compliment when you don't receive it. It's exhausting, right? Do you ever have, like I told this to a client yesterday, do you ever have that any moments where you are legitimately in a room and you can feel someone's negative energy, right? And you can feel someone's positive energy, but what are you attracted to the most? Especially if you're a negative person or you're used to the negativity, you're probably going to go to the negative, right? I am like, nope, get out of here. I'm out of this room. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to engage with you. And it's because my frequency is so much higher. And when I see this again a lot is like people focus too much on the potential of where they want to be in like 5 years versus where they are right now. Right. And that can have to me, a very detrimental effect. And I've done it in the past. I've probably done it recently, actually, where I look at myself and I go, this is where I need to be. And I focus so much on that being where I need to be versus where I am right now. And sometimes what I need to be right now is just like not in the action phase, but more in that calm phase, in that manifestation phase versus this like hardcore, like, right? I think we're so used to being in control, doing, acting, and I love that. That's great. It's a great place to be. But when you're never in a place where you can just go, okay, in order for me to get more and to do more, I also need to relax and recharge. And I don't think a lot of people acknowledge, this is where, again, we're so disconnected that you can't even notice, am I doing too much? Like you don't even ask yourself the question of, am I doing too much? Should I be doing this right now? We're not asking ourselves enough questions. We're just going because we want to make more money. And it's like, it's great to make money, but are you doing that at the expense of being in control and needing to have security? Guess where security comes from, y'all? From yourself, from God, right? That is true security, is just being okay with being you and okay with not needing the big thing or to do this or to do. I think a lot of people do big. I used to do it. I used to want to do big. Everything was huge. Why? Because I wanted attention. Why? Because I was so disconnected from my body saying, this is too much and it's going to distract you from what you really need to be doing right now. And if you don't do the work on yourself, you're not going to get there, right? So, oh, thank you. I love my family actually got this shirt for me. They made it for me for Christmas. I love it. I have a hoodie too, and we're bringing out merch soon, so I'm super excited about that. We are definitely slow growth, and it's really exciting. So I appreciate that. We are mostly in the male energy. Yes, we are always. I think even women, especially, like we all are in that male dominant doing action all the time. And guys, like I'm gonna tell you right now, if we would allow ourselves to have both male and female energy, I think a lot of men are very much like, do it, I gotta be alpha, blah. It's like there are moments for that, absolutely. Guys, I'm a dude, like I'm a doer, I am an action taker, but there are also moments where I go, okay, I need to like relax, I need to recharge, I need to get away, I need to take a trip, or I need to just be in my own space, not listen to anything, maybe read a book. I think we're always just so used to being on the go. And that's because that's like that matrix, like being plugged in all the time. And it's just exhausting. Like I used to put pressure on myself to go live with you all all the time. And I was just kind of like, I'm going to go live when I want to go live. I'm going to do what I want to do. Right. And it freed me from the pressure. And because I was doing it for the sake of doing it versus for the sake of like, I feel led to go live today, or I feel led to do this today, right? We are so disconnected. Hey, what's up, Kate? We are so disconnected that I find it a little disheartening to, and I do this, I help people with this in practice, but you need to start, in my opinion, the inner work, right? It's so easy to do the outer work. It's so easy to do and act, to make the business, to do the thing, but so many people need to start with believing in themselves first. I think we have been so much on trying to get people's attention, or so much on trying to be the next it thing, or trying to build the business, or what have you. Guys, to me, if there's a place I can tell you that I wish I had started, that I now can see the massive result. The real work comes from yourself. It comes from believing in yourself. It comes from digging down deep. It comes from not needing the external attachment, from not needing the money, from not needing the accolade, from not needing the whatever that is for you, right? If it's the accolade, if it's the attention, if it's the success. And like, again, success, what does that mean? Like, these are where I ask you questions. What is success for you? If success means making $1 million, okay, great. Well, then you can go do that. But there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that I don't think people are aware of. There's a lot of, I personally think it's more important to look inward and go, well, am I resisting? Because I think a lot of people, they want to make the million, or they want to make the X amount, or whatever it is, and they're not looking at why it's not happening. They're looking at doing. I have to get out there. I have to do it. It's like, okay, yeah, that's great. That's part of it. But the other part of it is also just like sometimes letting it come to you, right? Sometimes just like backing off, not taking the action, right? We're kind of pushed this thought of like, oh, got to take action, got action. I'm all about the action, guys. But sometimes you got to sit back and just like let things work for you, as opposed to grinding all the time, right? It's just like, to me, again, like there's everything we kind of look at right now is black and white. There's so much gray area that we're so conditioned to, that again, we get so disconnected because we think if I don't act, I'm screwed, or if I don't make that decision, or if I don't, like I'm looking at building into a new office right now, and 2 years, or when I first started business and I, was in this space, my old space, I was at so much stress. And I look back and I'm like, I was trying so hard to find a space that I wasn't even having fun with it. I wasn't even trying to like imagine what I wanted. I was just so desperate to find something. And in desperation, like you're not even looking at like the fine print. You're not even like enjoying the process. And I think a lot of times in health, especially, is people aren't looking at the process. They're looking at a destination, right? They're looking at the weight loss, or they're looking at, and I can't tell you how many people, when it comes to weight, or when it comes to even like going to the bathroom, like silly things that are like, are to me are residual effects of being healthy, right? I think we all look at like this. I tell all clients, get rid of your scale. I tell all clients, like, get rid of the number, get rid of, and it's a mental thing that you have to like legit disconnect from, right? When you allow yourself to just work on health and to just work on asking yourself questions and to just go within those things, all these things that are, and the weight loss and all these are residuals. These are bonuses to eating well and to doing the thing that you know you should be doing, right? To me, why do you feel shame when you eat certain things? It's because you know you shouldn't. Why do you feel the guilt? It's because you know you shouldn't do X, right? I strongly believe that so many people are in a toxic mindset because they want someone's approval, or they need to prove something to somebody else. And then they get mad at me or other practitioners that I know. They get mad because they say, oh, the supplements. Guys, this is not a supplement problem. This is a look at yourself in the mirror problem, okay? This is you need to dive deeper and look and understand that you are trying to control so much of your life that you can't even relax and realize, like people who eat, like I know people who will eat, clients that will eat amazing for weeks, and then they'll go and they'll eat a freaking pizza, like 4 slices or a pie of pizza. And I'm like, okay, like there's no shame in that. Like I'm not shaming you or judging you. But when you come to me and say, Matt, I have this sinus issue, or I have this and I have that, and I say, well, what changed? Like, well, nothing changed. I'm like, I don't believe you. Because if nothing changed, you wouldn't have that issue unless you got exposed to something, right? And then come to find out they did X, Y, Z for 3 weeks. And I'm like, well, there's your answer. Like, I'm not a miracle worker here, guys. Like I'm listening to your habits, and a lot of these habits are self-sabotage, right? We don't even understand that when you are weighing yourself, when you are weighing yourself, to me, is the ultimate self-sabotage. You know why? Because that scale, tell me one time anybody got on a scale and didn't feel discouraged. Tell me, because I don't ever believe it. Or you got on the scale, you lost the pound, right? And you got super excited, and then later that day you gained a pound back. And it's because you ate something. Like, guys, the scale to me is, if you really look at the history of the scale, it's complete BS. It's a completely it's a way to control you. It's a toxic way to control you. But people don't want to look at the research, right? And it's an objective number, possibly a subjective number, that makes you so depressed. I always tell people, stop looking at the scale. How do you feel? How do your clothes fit? Are people around you commenting on, wow, you look great, you seem great, you seem happy, you seem this, you seem that? That is, to me, more of a result and more of a sustained health than any scale will ever provide you. Yes, the number scale is less significant than the multi-billion-dollar weight loss industry would like us to believe. Yep, it's so true. That weight loss industry will tangle you up, and it will get you so in your head of negativity, as opposed to looking at yourself in the mirror and looking at the choices that you have made. I can't tell you how much, you guys, and I'm seeing it every day now. Stress, you guys, stress is one of those silent weight gainers, right? Even I, like, I've had a couple incidents in my life in the past like 2 weeks that I'm like, what the hell? Why am I gaining weight? And then come to find out, testing for stress, and I'm like, what am I stressed about? And then I think to myself, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense too, right? Like all these things that I'm like, I'm not really stressed, but then subconsciously I'm like, yeah, that's mental stress. You're thinking so much, or you're putting so much pressure on yourself to make something happen, versus just going, okay, I have no control over this. I put the action out there, I put the thing out, and now I just need to kind of like take small actions here and there. But I think what happens is that people just go into this space of like trying to grip and control it and figure it out, right? I hate the phrase, I got to figure this out. It's so bad, right? I hate it. It's so bad. It's because when you're trying to figure it out, you're in that space where you just can't, like, no opportunities can flow to you, right? You're literally just in the space of control, grip, and then you aren't even asking yourself questions as to why isn't this happening yet? And it's not happening because you're trying so hard to make something happen, and energy flows where attention goes, right? So if all your attention is, let's say you're trying to quit your job because you hate your job, and all your attention is on finding that job or making that money or what have you, and instead you need to put the energy out there and then just go, okay, I've done everything I can do. If I'm hitting a wall every single time I put something out there, guess what that means? It means you're trying way too hard, and you just need to back off and let your body relax. I often see, again, in my own self, is when I get into that space of wanting to try so hard or wanting to make something happen or wanting to grind it out or what have you, I actually get bloated, I get gassy, and it's because my body goes into this space of almost like a fear that if I don't do it, it won't happen, which is not abundance, that's lack, right? You're living in a lack space. So as opposed to truly allowing yourself to let things come to you, you are in fact doing the opposite. You're repelling things from you because you're trying so hard to control it that sometimes you just need to back off, right? So what's my point in all this is we are so disconnected all the time because all we're trying to do is control, right? Or all we're trying to do is figure it out, or all we're trying to do is we want to blame other people for our control, for our lack of trust, right? Can't tell you how many people come in. They come in with this like, I surrender, tell me what to do, I'm all yours, and they're seeing results like this, right? And then the second they get into control, what happens? Wall, right? And I've seen it, especially this week. I saw it so much. I was like, whoa, okay. A lot of people are suffering with this, like hitting the wall. They are suffering with this, trying to figure it out, trying to control it. And what you really need to do is you need to go. And I said this to 3 clients this week. I said, remember where you were when you first started? They were like, what do you mean? I said, when you first came to me, what was this, like the frame of mind that you were in? You were ready to let go. You didn't know what you were doing. You just came and you were like, I'm ready to surrender, right? So when you're ready to surrender, that's the power, right? Because you can legitimately just go, I don't know what I'm doing. And then what do? You let go of control because you've stopped trying so hard. And then what happens is that you start to see a result, and then you start to go, I'm figuring it out. I've got this. I know what I'm doing. I can do this myself. I don't need you. I don't. And every time I just go, okay, you've got to figure it out. Go ahead. And then inevitably what happens is that the weight comes back on, the results stop showing up because you think I've got it all figured out. You're so disconnected because you think you've got it all figured out. And that's what got you there in the first place. So again, you're so disconnected. And guys, also on top of disconnection is this idea of suppression, right? We have been so used to suppressing emotion, to not feeling emotion, that people don't even know what they're really feeling. So when I do like emotional release with people, it's fascinating to see like anxiety come out, frustrations, depression. And I always say depression is suppressive, right? It's suppressive emotion. You aren't being yourself. Why are people so depressed? Because they're not actually being who they are. They're being a version, or they're being multiple versions of who they think other people want them to be versus just being themselves. That is depressing, right? And then anxiety, right? We think of anxiety. Anxiety is you are so constantly worried about the future. You're constantly worried about what people think of you. You're constantly worried about what's going to happen. Like you're a worst case scenario thinker. These are all things that you can change over time, not all at once, because when in America, what are we used to? We're used to doing this all or nothing. I want to see results in 10 days, 30 days, whatever. And we have this timeline. Guys, there is no timeline to health. Health is a progressive, it is a progress of doing small actions over a period of time that you can go, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. And it does work, right? That does work, but you need to get out of the way. You need to get out of the way of the body healing, right? Stop trying to figure it out all the time. Stop suppressing emotion. Stop being around suppressive people. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people who can suppress you because they want to control you, or they want to be the one to, because they're so brainwashed that, like, suppressive parents, suppressive spouses, suppressive people will always hold you back because they want to try and control and manipulate, right? They want to put their insecurities onto you because they are so afraid themselves of letting go. They are so afraid of the possibility of being more, of leveling up. Suppressive people, again, this is how if you are disconnected to your body and to your emotion, right? And and I don't say being overly emotional, but I just mean like being allowed to feel emotion, right? If you are being suppressed by people all the time, you're going to constantly be in this space of like being stuck, because you are stuck, because you're around people who are legitimately suppressing you all the time, right? Your change can make other people. Yeah. When you change, I can't tell you how many people have seen in me, like I've changed a lot in the past year in a good way. And for me anyway, I feel more grounded than I've ever felt in my life. And so it has made so many people uncomfortable because people don't like seeing other people level up. It's kind of screwed up. It's very screwed up, but that's a fact. People do not like seeing other people more successful than them. That is why they suppress, because in that suppression, guess what happens? They feel like they've won. In their suppression, they feel like, oh, I've got the control, and this person will listen to anything that I say now, right? And I see it a lot in spouses, which I hate to say, but it is true. There are a lot of suppressive spouses that are holding back their significant other because they are afraid that if they level up, are they going to see the real me? Are they going to go higher than me? To me, everyone has seasons of ups and downs, of being more successful, the breadwinner, so to speak. And I think if you can acknowledge that you are secure in yourself and being secure in that, you will watch yourself ebb and flow with your significant other, and there should never be suppression, right? There should only ever be support. There should only ever be a sense of truly just being there for your partner, right? But if you're uncomfortable with somebody else leveling up, you need to look at yourself, and you need to look at, why am I so disconnected from myself that makes me uncomfortable, right? Or I call people out all the time and it makes other people so uncomfortable. Why does me standing up for myself make you uncomfortable? It's because I am connected to myself and my body and my mind and my heart, and you are so disconnected that it makes you afraid, because it makes you go, whoa, like he's so in tune with himself. And a lot of people who are in tune with themselves are very uncomfortable, right? Very uncomfortable with seeing you go to a new level, because it means that they would have to change something in themselves. That's what really is happening here, right? So again, ask yourself, how disconnected am I? Ask yourself, what can I do to get out of that, right? Your body, your mind, God wants to show you how to get out of this, but you don't ask yourself the question. You just think, oh, I need to take action and figure it out. Sometimes you don't need to figure it out. Sometimes you just need to let go and let God show you the action to take, right? So again, last little piece here is just, if you are feeling pain, if you are stuffing down emotion that you know you need to let out, and that comes with, like, if you're feeling this like heaviness, right? If you're feeling a sense of tightness in your body all the time, you might be suppressing emotion. You might be so disconnected with what it feels like to actually let things out that you don't even know when the last time you cried was, or you think crying is weakness. Crying can be weakness, but it can also be really strong when you're I always think when I cry and it's a good cry, it's it is getting out stuff for me to break through. So to me, a breakdown is a breakthrough, right? It always leads to a breakthrough. So when you elevate to a higher vibration, the people who stay stuck lower vibe just don't make sense. Yes, it's true. So what Kate is saying is, when you elevate yourself to a higher vibration, to a higher frequency, let's say you aren't afraid to spend the money, or you're not afraid to go into debt to build the business or what have you. You're telling God, you're telling the universe, I'm ready to up level myself. I'm ready to go to a new level. And it will be a little chaotic for a minute, but then you will find yourself going to that new level. And when you do go to that new level, lower vibe people tend to kind of fall off. I don't know if any of you have ever witnessed that. I for sure have. But have you ever, as you start to level up and as you start to go to a higher place, have you ever seen friends, or have you ever seen possibly clients or family members? Have you ever seen those people just kind of like fall off? Because I for sure have. This is how you know you're connected to where you need to be going, right? Is you start to watch these people kind of like, you start to have the boundary. You start to have people who are lifting you to that new frequency. You start getting new clients who are actively going with you in that direction, right? So it's very interesting when you start to level up, how the people that aren't really meant for you start to kind of just fizzle out. And they might try to come back, but this is where you need to be so connected with yourself and go, yeah, we kind of fizzled out for a reason. And that's okay. That's okay. But you need to own that. And you need to not be afraid of, yeah, this didn't work last time. So unless they've changed dramatically, and it can happen. I've seen it happen, right? I've had it in my own life where I let go of somebody, and then in 5 years they come back, or in a year they come back because they've done a lot of work on themselves, and they go, okay, I wasn't ready to commit, or I wasn't ready to, I wasn't at the place where I needed to be to commit to this. It could be a relationship, it could be a business relationship, an intimate relationship. But to me, timing is everything. And if you just let go a lot, and you are used to letting go and not controlling and not being in that space of, again, like Amanda said, that male energy, right? So if you're always in that male energy all the time, to me, there's a time and place for all of these energies, right? And if you don't know how to use those energies to your benefit, it's always going to just feel like an uphill battle versus, like, I can tell you right now, I'm in a place right now where this whole month was like I'm not going to take action this month. I'm just going to manifest. I'm just going to go deeper within. I'm going to enjoy where I'm at, enjoy the clients that I have, enjoy the people in my life. And then it's been crazy because the last couple weeks I've seen growth externally because I've been growing internally. This is why I'm saying what happens in comes without. Therefore, within comes without, right? Goes without. So I always just say your external world is a direct reflection of your internal. So if your internal world is chaotic, start looking on that inside, guys, because it's a direct reflection of how you're feeling inside yourself versus, oh my gosh, everyone's crazy. Everyone's crazy. Well, maybe you're crazy. Maybe your inside is like this, right? If you're in resistance and nothing's happening, maybe it's because nothing's happening within. You're not doing any work in, right? So go inward, right? You have a few more weeks to go. This is a retractive month, a place to do a little bit more. We're all cold. We're all trying to stay warm. So go warm, go inward, right? Allow yourself to manifest and to enjoy the process of maybe not taking the action, of maybe just taking a step back and going, I'm okay, right? Like, you're not going to die by taking a day off. You're not going to die by, taking a step back and doing a little inner work and watching. When you start doing the inner work and you start to watch your external world sort of shift, that to me means something's working, and embrace it. Don't always try to be, there are moments, and you will feel it. There are moments when you take the leap and you take the action and you do it. And then there are moments where you go, if this isn't working and I'm being hit by every single wall that there is, I need to clearly I need to look at myself and go, well, why is that not happening? Oh, I'm trying way too hard to figure that out, or way too hard to be in charge, or way too hard to control it. I just need to go, this will be done when it's meant to be done. This will happen when it's meant to happen. The money will go when I just let it happen. Okay. Start asking yourself questions. Start going within yourself and realizing that your external world is a direct reflection of what's going on inside of you, inside of your own head. And just remember, again, that the more connected you are, the better you're going to feel. The more you allow things to come up and open the onion, so to speak, and to heal. And if you need help, obviously contact us, honoryourhealth.life. We're here to help you, but don't be afraid. And if you're watching this and you feel like, yeah, I definitely need help, I definitely need to go to a new level, I definitely need to start detoxing, or I definitely need to start whatever it is, right? And you feel like this resonates with you, don't pause, or maybe do pause, right? And think about, why did this resonate? Should I be reaching out or shouldn't I? Because there's a right time, and you will know that maybe now is not the right time, but maybe in a month or a week or in 6 months, right? You need to allow yourself to resonate with people, and the people that will resonate with you, you will just feel so free to engage and so free to let them help you. I think the reason why so many people don't let others help them is because they think they need to figure it out for themselves, or I'm going to leave you with this, or it's because they are so afraid of receiving love from somebody who genuinely cares about them, because they are so used to the negative person. They're so used to somebody suppressing them. They're so used to somebody giving them negative feedback, or giving them, judging them, shaming them, guilting them. They're so used to that. So if you don't call out that behavior, it's just going to continue happening, right? So as opposed to constantly being surrounded by these people who are suppressive and depressed and anxious and all these things, start looking at who you can surround yourself with and start leveling up, because we are going into a year of leveling up on a massive scale. So don't get left behind and reach out. We're here to help you on nutritional front, physical front, mental front, like the mental, the mindset side of things, and understand that you aren't alone, that you don't need to do it alone, and that there are a lot of people in this world who are holistic and who are here to help you out of this rut that you might possibly be in. And stop thinking about weight loss, stop thinking about the negative side of it, right? Think about health, think about energy, think about rest, recovery. The more you think about the positive side of the negative will drift off and the positive will continue happening. But right now what's happening, if you're watching this and you're in a depressive state or you're in a negative state, it's because you're thinking about the negative. Change your mindset, go read a book, get your mind off of that thought, get your mind off of it, right? An idle mind to me is always a bad mind, right? If you're always idle, if you're always bored, go read a book, go get inspired, go work out, go for a walk, go listen to a motivational podcast. There's so many tools to get you out of these constant thoughts, or get you out of these out from around these people who aren't lifting you up but are always kind of bringing you down, right? So just think about who you're surrounded by. Think about why. Ask yourself, why do I let these people sabotage me? Why do I let the negative people impact my life more than the positive? If every time a positive person comes into your life, you get uncomfortable, it's because you are so used to the suppressed, the depressed, the anxious. You're so used to those thoughts that you need to change them, right? The more you're used to something, in my opinion, and somebody who has what you want, which is the positive, the successful, the security in themselves, when you get uncomfortable around that, or you try to blame that person, I can tell you right now, most people who are confident and secure in themselves will push back against you and go, that's not mine, that's yours, right? So don't be upset and don't get offended when somebody pushes back against you and says, I'm not judging you actually at all, or I'm not here to hurt you. I think you're just so used to being hurt. I think you're so used to being suppressed that you just always think, oh, this person's going to try and attack me, or this person, like you have that thought always because you're not used to being around positive, supportive people. You're used to being around people who are negative, who are suppressive, who are depressed. So start looking at who you are around. It could be family, you guys. I hate to tell you, but it could be family. A lot of family is suppressive. A lot of family, they don't want to see you do better than them. Even friends, they don't want to see you do better than them, right? So really be careful on who you spend time with, who you, the opinions that you're listening to, because I can tell you from experience, when you are around people that cause you to disconnect from yourself or cause you to question who you are all the time, that's a very diseased thought and a diseased way of thinking, right? You're always around people who constantly make you feel like you're not yourself. I would get rid of those people personally. That's just me. I can't tell you what to do, but I would get rid of people that are energy suckers, that are pulling your energy from you all the time. And I actually saw a younger client yesterday. I'll leave it here. I know I said that about 5 minutes ago, but who always said on Fridays, I always feel like I'm just so low energy and depressed and all these things. And I just said, well, that's interesting. Let's see who you're surrounded with. And then as we started digging deeper, found out that she's around a lot of people who don't make her feel like herself. She's around a lot of people. She gets very angry on Friday night specifically. And she was around a lot of people who were not making her feel like herself, that she felt like she had to be someone different around all these people. And I said, well, that's your problem right there. You're around people who maybe you don't even want to be around, and you just need a new group of friends, right? So don't be afraid of going to the next level. Don't be afraid. Like when you go to a new level, you're going to get new people, right? When you go to a new level, you can't be afraid that for a moment you might feel a little like, oh my God, this is scary, because it is scary. You're going to a new place, right? You're reaching new spaces. So just realize that so many people in your life are actually holding you back more than you think they are. And that could be yourself included. All right. So have a great Sunday, a great weekend, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.